Mainstream Podcast. So yesterday was UFC 300. I don't know about y'all, but that card was crazy. Like, especially that crazy ass knockout. But we're gonna get into it. So the first fight of the night, and that was Grant versus Figueiredo. So uh, it was a crazy fight. It was a back and forth fight.
I kind of want to see how Davidson fares against the other fighters in that division. But he looked good at 135 doing that to a former champion.
They're getting the ground and putting in the RNC.
That style of fight that Cody has and fighters like Cody, it's not long lived of a career where you're dominant.
Yeah, I actually thought Figueiredo was gonna win. So
Good card though.
Then you got the next one, really, Bobby Green versus Jim Miller. Bobby Green just showed his dominance over Jim Miller, and Jim Miller's age is getting to him. So there's that part. Remember, they had a whole promo about him being on UFC 100, 200, and now 300. So I think that wear and tear just got to him. I mean, he did catch him a couple times throughout the night, but
I think Bobby Green just shows that when he wins his fights, he wins his fights when he's focused. In my opinion, because he was getting off track early in like the first round, because he was swinging with his hands down, and Jim Miller caught him with a couple shots, but he showed that he was supposed to get Jim Miller out of there, and he got him out of there, even though Jim Miller's a tough guy.
Yeah, Bobby Green, he's up and down, but as long as he can stay consistent like that, he should be back in title contention.
Jessica Andrade versus Maria Rodriguez, and that was kind of a boring fight for me.
That's how I felt about the girl fights.
Yeah, a lot of the girl fights I be tuning out, but to be real about it, I feel like Jessica Andrade, she showed that she like her stock is what it is. Like, she got power. She did her thing. I think the other girl, she presented like a couple of bad situations for Jessica, but she actually made a mistake that made Jessica end up on top there and mounted her. And like when she was there, she never got up. No, it's just what it was. Like I don't, not to sound like a misogynist, but that fight wasn't really.
I think there's just such a skill difference between a lot of the female fighters that in certain areas it bleeds out, and just the fights drag on because either they can't close it or the other girl's strong enough to keep it going. Yeah, it was a great card. They might have packed it too much, like Tony was saying before.
Jessica Andrade got that win over Marina Rodriguez, anyways.
That was expected, no?
Yeah, it was a good win overall, but it was just a little lackadaisical for me.
No, that's a fact.
And then after that, you got Jalen Turner versus Renato Moicano.
That was a good fight.
It was a good fight.
I missed that one. Break that one down for me.
So pretty much, Jalen catches Renato with two body kicks that seems to hurt him a little bit. To round three, Renato just dominated him on the ground and was able to get the win.
And I wanted Jalen to win so bad. Like he had a good first round. Even though he was held down for a bit, he showed that when he got up, he got enough power to at least put McConnell down. But it just wasn't enough. He didn't use his gas tank as well as he did a couple other fights.
It's like that for a lot of fighters, though. They just don't have the ground game to keep up to take the fight home.
Yeah, I was kind of mad over it, but it is what it is. Jalen Turner's I just like his story. He's a good fighter, a young prospect.
Lee Yusuf versus Diego Lopez, and Diego Lopez just dominated City. It was an 89-second finish.
Something eerie about that fight, like for some reason, like not to go there, but like it was just eerie how the Lopez kid. I knew he was gonna beat Sadiq Yusuf because Escobar Barboza beat him, and I felt like it was because he didn't like use his gas tank well. Like he always start off slow, so I knew that was gonna be a problem. But something was eerie about like him, but the Lopez kid jumping over the cage, and then like Mark Zuckerberg being there. It was just like weird. Like it was just something funny. Like I don't know.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like
TJ's favorite judge was in the crowd too.
she's not my favorite judge. It's a judge named Adelaide Bird. She's a corrupt judge.
Yeah. And he in New York?
Huh?
He's in New York, no?
Nah, it's this judge lady. She's from boxing. She's a judge that's corrupt. Like she's behind all of the most corrupt fights in like the late 2010s, and now she's in UFC. She's been in the UFC for like 4 years already, and it's just funny. Like
Yeah, I see what you're
one
saying.
one day we'll make some content about that to go eat.
Yeah. One day.
Yeah.
Breaking down refs and judges.
The next fight is a fight I'm not ready. I don't want to talk about because it's a fight I'm gonna have to eat my words on. Because Kayla Harrison came out, she beat Holly, and it's like I said before, I wouldn't be surprised if Kayla won. I just wanted Holly to win. I just wanted her to knock out. I wasn't expecting it, but I just wanted her to happen. But nah, Kayla looked pretty decent. I gotta admit myself. She was showed a little bit of stand up. Her level changes was pretty good. It was a solid match for Kayla, but I still don't think she's ready for a title contention match yet. I think she needs another 1-2 fights in her.
She's got to be pushed more before she could become a champion.
She called out Juliana Pena, which I don't think is a good fight for her.
But that might be what she needs. A comfortable fight. Push her to the edge of what her skill is.
Yeah.
I kind of think she's abnormally strong for that weight class. Like what she did to Holly Holm, even though Holly Holm she does like she hasn't displayed that grappling acumen like that. I feel like just the way Caleb was looking in there, she looked very strong for like the other females in that weight class.
I don't think one was stronger than the other. I think they was pretty fair matched in that regard.
Yeah, it's different types of strength though. That wrestling strength and that punching strength is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you was upset, Tony. I don't remember you saying Kayla could win, but
I did say something
you
of the
said
sort.
one dimensional. There's no way.
I didn't say there's no way she couldn't win. I said she could. She's not gonna be champ.
I think you said it. I don't think Holly's gonna go for that one dimensional style. Is what you were saying, but
No, I said I hope Holly knocks her out. But I was just
We
talking
told
mad
you
shit about
we
Kayla.
told you about them takedowns.
that's just tiring
I
too.
did say she was one dimensional though.
When you don't have a wrestling tank, that shit gets tiring, bro.
Yeah. And
That
she's
gas,
42 years old, Holly.
it,
So
it, it'll gas out a young buck, let alone a 40. You know?
exactly. For a
Yeah.
female fighter, 42 years old, that's mileage. That's like it's
She's
crazy.
trying to get inducted. You know what I'm saying? She trying to go to the Hall of Fame and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kayla's our age. She's 33. Or my age.
What are the years the same for women
Nah,
in UFC? It'd be
nah,
shorter, right? You get a shorter reign.
way shorter, yeah. Because you got old fighters like Glover Teixeira, who was like, he was almost 50. Like, you got Alexei Olenek,
Mm-hmm.
old constrictor, who's just, he's still doing it at a high level, submitting people. He's like 50 years old. Like,
Nah, yeah, you're right. You're right. And Ronda's over there in wrestling.
yeah,
But if she was a man, she would still be in the UFC.
yeah.
You know,
She just couldn't take that loss. That one loss she had.
I
Damn.
don't think. Yeah, that's what happens when you get everything you want in the beginning and you don't go through like turmoil.
Ronda's coach, Edmund Shabazian, was a, like, was like, he's a good boxing coach, but he was like a weird guy who was into like a lot of pseudoscience, mumbo jumbo, trying to fight sports. And he gave Ronda a false sense of like thinking that she had great boxing skills, even though she was just a judo player. And when she went in there against Holly Holm, she thought because she had success on the field a little bit that she could stand in front of a John kickboxing world champion like Holly. And then that's what happened to her. She tried to come back again against Amanda Nunes, and Amanda Nunes just basically destroyed her from a stand up aspect because Ronda thought that she could hang in there in a stand up match when it should just be grappling.
And if you don't set up the grappling with some stand up, it's null and void.
In the next fight, your boy Calvin Cater versus Aljo Sterling. It was a boring fight, pretty much. Aljo did get the win by decision, but it was more lay and pray style. He really ain't do. He took him down a lot, but really ain't do no damage much. And it goes back to what I was saying the other day. If you look at it, it depended on what complicator we got, and we got a complicator that didn't look ready to fight, to be honest, at all.
You can't be mad at that style of fighting. It just gets old after a while.
I know, but it was. I'm just saying it was a boring fight. Like I said earlier, if a girl fight is boring, I'm gonna say it's boring. If a guy fight is boring, it's boring. But that was a boring fight.
I was gonna say to Tony's point that was kind of a disrespect on Calvin Cater because he showed up to fight. Like nobody's gonna step in the cage for no reason. Like he came, he made the walk, but I mean,
it might just be an off night.
No, he lost. He got dominated with the wrestling. Like I think Aljamain.
But that's what I mean. Why he looked like he didn't come ready to fight.
I wasn't sure about Aljamain even taking this fight. I didn't want Aljamain even fighting, and I'm a fan of Aljamain. I just thought it was like weird that you're going up in another weight class when O'Malley is down there, because that going up in weight and then coming back down would be detrimental to you, like Roy Jones Jr. when he fought Antonio Tarver and came back down in weight.
That's true, but here's another perspective. Who could Aljamain bounce back in a fight against? Because he shouldn't have went straight against O'Malley at a rematch. He needed a tune-up.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So who would he have faced to line him up for O'Malley too?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think there's anyone in that division, so it's like he kind of has to go up to better himself. But maybe this fight just didn't do what he wanted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Didn't push his skill there.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if there's anyone else. Aljamain's really went through. Maybe Peter. He could go through Peter again, right?
Yeah. He still looks a little sloppy on the feet.
That's what I'm saying. Like he needs to get. Yeah. O'Malley was too tuned up for him. O'Malley was too ready, too quick, too decisive, and the spacing was perfect with footwork. And just sniped him.
Oh, and you talk about sniping. Jerry versus Rashid. TJ was mad. Mad.
Yeah, because I thought Yuri was gonna lose. I'm not gonna lie about that. I kind of wanted him to lose because I thought Rakic fought enough good guys. Like he beat Jerry Ranoir, he beat Thiago Santos, Volkan Ozdemir. So like, actually, he lost to Volkan Ozdemir. I don't know why I'm blanking on some of those guys' names, but Rakic beat a couple of the old guard in the 205 division. So I thought he'd be ready. But like, I was just going against Yuri because of how he fights with his hands down and he does all this unorthodox movement that the broadcast team is always hyping.
Mm-hmm.
But like those same movements got him clipped up in the first 2 rounds, like against Rakic. So
it was a back and forth fight, though. It wasn't just like one side dominance.
Like how long can you take those shots like that at that level?
I will tell you, besides the Justin Gaethje and Holloway fight, that was the next best fight. Like I said it the other day, the output was going to be crazy. Lived exactly up to that. So we got the main card. So now we got the fight you was looking forward to was that Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage fight.
Yeah, that Cody didn't he didn't stay composed when he needed to. And you could tell in the second round he started to unwind at the edges. You know what I'm saying? Unravel, and he didn't look good. That's why he ended it with the submission right there. Because you could tell he had Bo at standing up. He had Bo. He was landing it.
Yeah.
He was landing it, but Bo was just outmatched him when it came to that grappling and the clinch and just the takedown. And then you could tell he started to get tired, so he couldn't even like defend it anymore. The first round he was doing good defending the wrestling moves and held his own, and he survived. The rest of the fight, it was just Bo just took over.
I think that was just a good test for Bo Nickel.
I didn't like it. But tell me why you think it was good, TJ.
Cause like I feel you though. So, but something is weird about like he only have like 6 fights. He got 6 fights, and he's on the main card of a UFC event. Like, it's something about that was a little weird to me, just as like a purist of the sport. Like, but I don't know. It was a good fight because Cody got wrestling. He got the hands. Like, that was a good test for him. That was definitely a jump in competition for him. But yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, really. Man. Bo Nichols wins by rear naked choke. We've seen a couple rear naked chokes last night.
Yeah, I didn't like it because the dude didn't look like he settled in well for the fight. Because when the corner asked him, "Did you see you stunned him?" He goes, "No, I didn't see. I stunned him." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He just didn't seem like he was ready for the moment. Because once it got real deep, he started to panic like he was drowning. So I just didn't like the test for Bo. I thought they could have gave him somebody. They're gonna have to give him somebody better next time, but they're front running him real quick.
Very next fight was not a quick fight at all. That actually went to split decision, and it was probably the most controversial fight of the night. But I'm okay with the decision. TJ is not okay with it. It was Armin Sarukian versus Charles Oliveira, and it was a pretty contested fight.
TJ, why?
I was being sensational last time, and I was just going on a tirade about me thinking that Sarukian is a bum, which I was just saying that to be sensational. But my thing is, like, who has Sarukian fought to fight a Charles Oliveira? Like, what is the UFC doing? Where, like, I guess it's good that Charles Oliveira is fighting down and giving some of these guys an opportunity at, like, being a gatekeeper. But are you really a gatekeeper at this point in your career?
Yeah, he had that grounded pound with those elbows. It was wicked. It was wicked.
Yeah, he cut him open and he had him gushing.
But Oliveira had him in a couple of submissions.
Yeah, he did.
He did. I just felt like Oliveira kind of he gave momentum with some of the clinch positions. Yeah. Like, instead of getting his underarms, he stood over his head. Then he got flipped over, taken down.
I think jiu-jitsu is kind of evolving past guys like Oliveira. Like, even though he's still at the pinnacle of it in MMA, you know, he's a high level guy. But I feel like some of these younger guys, they're training way differently against people all over the world. Like, it's more accessible to them, and like a lot of dudes, they're working how to get out of those submissions. Like, with guys as talented that you are in the training room. You get what I'm trying to say?
It wasn't back and forth. It was just DC said it. It's how you scored those, what judge you had, and how much they held submissions on their, like,
I blame the
checklist.
I blame Oliveira's corner, if I'm gonna be honest with you, because Oliveira's corner should have never told him he won the first round.
I thought maybe he made the case that he probably won the first round, like the first.
I made the case too, but you never set up the fighter to think that he's safer than he is.
That's true.
You should never let him know that. Okay, no, we're all this next. It's always about the next round, the round that we're in, not about the last round or the round that we're going into. You know what I'm saying? It's about the round that we're in right now. So we got to win this round. I would have let, even if you thought he won, don't even say it. keep that shit to yourself, because it wasn't like he didn't smoke him that first round. It could have went either way, but I see your point. I would have gave it to Oliveira too, but I wasn't mad because the momentum shifted at the end of the first round. Yeah, it was a good fight. It was a good fight. If you're gonna go by who looked the worst at the end of the fight, Oliveira looked the worst.
The fight of the night, and I can't put much emphasis on it. It's crazy because we were just talking about it the other day about how much significant the title holds, and we were saying that it was a joke and everything. But I think after last night, and it's like you were saying, we got to put some respect on that title. It was this close to going to a split decision. I was just talking about it, that literally in the last 20, 30 seconds, these dudes come out like dogs and start throwing haymakers. Me and TJ like to call it peanut butter jelly time. And they just came out, and Justin Gaethje was just on the wrong side of it and put out. I don't know. I know we got a lot to say about that fight and that title in itself.
Yeah, you got to respect the title more even today, especially with finishing it with 1 second left. You can't really put any question on it. It's just I hope there's enough fighters with that style to keep the belt relevant. Because as soon as you start putting other fighters who may be deemed tough or deemed a badass, but the style doesn't correlate with beating someone at the shoulders or standing in that telephone booth, it loses all its appeal.
I don't like the novelty of what this thing is. Like, if that's the case, like the UFC in the old days, they used to give out medals on the night to the guys who won, or like little trophies. Start doing that again. Like, harken back to the old culture of the sport. But like this like other kind of belt thing that is modeled after fighting one way is kind of like weird. Like, then should you make a wrestling belt? Should you make a straight jiu-jitsu belt? Or like I don't understand. Like, the let's go out here and wing it belt for 5 rounds.
Let's keep it standing up for 5 rounds. That's pretty much what this belt is. Keep it standing for 5 rounds.
Cause is that a title eliminator fight? What is that fight for both of those guys? Like, so like what was that fight for? So like, could we see a situation where the guy with the BMF belt finds himself in the championship fight, defending the BMF and the championship? Like, why is this BMF? Why are we saying BMF for? Like,
what's the weight class for it?
That is true.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
Wasn't it 170 at welterweight with Nate Diaz and Masvidal? Like, how?
Yeah. You might be right, Tony. You might be right.
Novelty belt. But I enjoyed the fight for what it was. I mean, Max Holloway knocked Justin Gaethje out. I mean, that was great. I kind of expected that to happen.
I didn't think Holloway was gonna do that. And if he did do that, I thought it was early. I didn't think it was gonna be the last second of the fifth.
I was quoted on saying that he would get destroyed.
That was crazy. That's a 180.
Yeah, I didn't think he was gonna get destroyed, but it's shit. You could say Gaethje got destroyed.
I said we put a little respect on it. It's just not something that I'll see myself fighting for if I was a fighter. But then again, I'm not a fighter. It's a good fight. Yep, that was the very end. Boop, boop, boop. Shots. Boop, dropped them.
Like, that was sensational.
It was the fight of the night in my books. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't even quit. Look, he's still there. He's kissing the monster can.
Yeah, it's one of those fights.
Like it's a sleeping bag or some shit.
But before even that knockout, it was a good fight. That just made it a great classic fight now.
Yeah, you gotta put some respect on Holloway's name, Tony.
I just thought he was gonna get beat up by Gaethje.
But what made you think?
Because his last couple fights, I said it. His conditioning wasn't there, but yesterday his conditioning looked on peak. It looked like he was prime Max Holloway.
I think his conditioning is always there. His fights. He just had a bad little skid. You know, sometimes you just don't.
But that's all I'm trying to say. That skid is what made me come out with that opinion. It wasn't just baseless.
No, I did feel the same way. I just didn't. I still thought he could hold his own. I still knew he had a chance. Yeah. But you felt the same way. I see.
Fighter Nate, I think he got the bonus. I don't know. I could be wrong, but if he didn't get the bonus, it'd be stupid.
So the bonus was increased by 300 or to 300. That's what I seen on something that they Dana increased the bonus from 50 to 300.
Because I heard them say something about there's a lot of money to be won tonight or some shit.
Yeah, that's what I seen during one of the press conferences. Reporter asked him.
You got Zangwa Lee versus Yan Zhongyang, and it was a good fight. Nothing too crazy, but Wei Lee ended up showing her dominance like always, and pretty much went the way we thought it was gonna go.
It was a little boring to me. I ain't really.
Lee won by unanimous decision.
Lee was too much for her on the ground. Yan might have had a chance if she kept it standing. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. She was clipping her up and catching her, but as the fight progressed, she couldn't stay off the ground.
I think this is a good fight, just from a global aspect. Two Chinese champions fighting each other in the like a unified set of rules, just on the global stage. Like, I like that, and that weight class is a good weight class with Rose Namajunas down there, and Juliana Pena and Carlos Esparza.
This fight was another great fight. It was Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill, and I could pretty much tell you what happens in that fight. You got a lot of feints and low kicks, some body kicks. Alex catches Jamal with the left hook. Jamal drops. A little ground and pound by Alex, and the ref stops it.
You missed the most crucial part. The kick to the nuts. The push off to the ref.
I didn't see the kick to the nuts.
Yeah, the ref was going to stop and give him a break. And he said no, waved him off, and then knocked him out with the left.
And it's the subtleties about that. I just watched it yesterday. Watching it, it was just entertaining. But this morning, when I was watching it, it's the subtlety of Jamal kicking his cup and then Herb coming over. And then when he waved him off, the subtlety of him faking an overhand and then making Jamal faint and then leaving his chin open and then just shooting the left. And the left was already out in front of Jamal's chin anyway because of the unorthodox way that Alex throws it. And then he just put a little bit behind and dusted him. Like, everybody knows he's going to throw that left, and he threw the left.
It's like he set it up the whole fight. I don't think he threw like a real left before that moment.
Yeah.
And he just home runned it out the park.
And he covered a lot of distance. When he waved the Herb off, he covered a lot of distance with that front foot and just closed the gap so that left just had nowhere to go.
Yeah. And then that card went, I think, 5-6 hours, and then finished to close to 2 in the morning. And it's like I told you yesterday, that Yang fight versus Wei Lee could have been left off the card. To be a lot of good fights, just like I always say, I think the card is being a little too low. Win 2 fights too long.
I think it was a great card, actually. I think it was one of the best cards in a long time, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm going to show y'all the breakdown again so y'all can see it, just so the knockout.
Look at how he thinks, and then boom.
Yeah, he was out.
Yeah, that's the thumbnail for sure.
And then if you know what he was doing, he was doing that guy from social media that does it, the comedian.
Yeah.
Celebration.
And I don't think that kick was even low. When I rewatched it, that kick wasn't low. But that moment of the ref stopping it, might have left that opening to just land that left, because the timing just he stopped it and then tried to start it up.
He feinted an overhand, and that caused Jamal to just drop his and try to throw something, and then he just caught him with the left. That was already out.
That's what I was saying. It's scary how he kept his speed when he went up. Right. When you see him get these last two knockouts with the heavyweights or at 205, it's not. The speed is just a little different. It's just a little different. He reminds me of Adesanya at 185.
And he showed in the Jan Blachowicz fight. Jan Blachowicz was just wrestling him down for 3 rounds, but he showed in that fight that he can hold his own with the grappling. So if Jamal Hill wanted to grapple him, I think he would have been ready for that too. So what happened happened.
I think you're right. I think grappling would have been a worse situation for Jamal. Yeah. Unless he got him to the ground quick. If they stood in the clinch for too long, it's not in Jamal's favor. Because he's coming with those kickboxing elbows. He's coming with the more.
I think 205 is dangerous again. Like, and it's surprising there was no heavyweight fights on this card too. That was surprising to me.
Yeah, they should have one in the next one, right? In 301.
They got one dude who I don't even know who he is fighting in the main card in the main event.
Overall, it was an exciting fight night to end off like that. It was an exciting fight night.
On 1 through 10, what do you give it?
Give it like a 7.
What do you give it?
I give it like a 7, 7.5, just right around there, above average. Yeah. It wasn't a letdown. I can't say it was a letdown. So, what y'all think of Tapera?
I mean,
because he looks scared.
I mean, that's a good fight. You know, like I like the global aspect of like Spain, maybe them doing the fight out there. But that's a good fight.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good fight.
And y'all already know we got some basketball content coming up for y'all on Wednesday. Stay tuned for for the play-ins, and we're gonna break down those next couple of games and see who's playing who and give us y'all our predictions. So stay tuned for that. We got the boxing fight between
Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia.
Coming up. We got a lot of good content coming up for y'all, so stay tuned for that. And
like and subscribe. Follow us on our socials. Thanks for tuning in.